All right, welcome to another book review. And today we're going to be looking at this one, The Ancient Wisdom by Geoffrey Ashe. But before we get into that, I would like to just mention that if you would like to support me and this channel, then please head on over to my Patreon where you can subscribe to the supporter tier for $3 a month, or get into some more magical leanings and teachings with the various other tiers, especially those of the Temple of the Horned Serpent. And I would just like to also send out my appreciation to those that have joined and are supporting me in this manner. It really does mean a lot, and it definitely goes a long way. So, but let's get into this review. So, Geoffrey Ashe, just show you the book again. This is the book with my little tags and everything else. Geoffrey Ashe is a British historian and author. He's known for his work on mythology, ancient history, and the exploration of hidden or forgotten knowledge. He has written extensively on a variety of topics, including Arthurian legends, sacred places, and the concept of lost civilizations. Ashe's academic background in history, combined with his interest in alternative historical theories, has allowed him to approach subjects with a unique perspective, blending scholarly research with speculative ideas. Some of his other notable works include The Discovery of King Arthur, where he explores the historical and mythological origins of the Arthurian legend, and The Secret History of the World, where he examines esoteric knowledge and hidden truths throughout history. His ability to combine historical research with imaginative thinking has earned him a following among readers interested in exploring the mystical aspects of human history. In The Ancient Wisdom, this one, Ashe takes readers on a journey through time, uncovering the possibility of a primordial source of mystical knowledge that has shaped spiritual and cultural evolution across the globe. For those intrigued by the idea of hidden connections in mythology, sacred geometry, and even the controversial notion of extraterrestrial influences and mythical locations, the Ancient Wisdom offers a fascinating exploration of these questions. Just to have a look at the book. This is actually an old copy. I got this years ago. I started reading it, and I probably didn't really understand what I was reading. So I kind of got a little bit in and then put it down. But I decided to pick it up again. It's a very, very interesting read, I've got to say. The way he examines a topic, and it is scholarly, but at the same time, it is also looking into the mystical and what a lot of people would consider to be speculative. It kind of explores the topic from a variety of different angles. And being mystical people, witches, and everything else that we are, it kind of fits in. This particular edition was published by Abacus. And let me just get to the first published in Great Britain by Macmillan, London Limited, 1977. So it is quite an old book. From a archaeological perspective, if you are going through some of the various contexts in this book, you might want to consider that it is quite an old book, and therefore there could be some further archaeological advances that have been made since this was published. But very rare. It's definitely worth reading anyway. But at the heart of the book itself lies the very compelling question: is there a single universal source of mystical knowledge that has influenced human spirituality across time and cultures? Ashe explores this idea by examining myths, religious traditions, and symbols that seem to transcend geographical and cultural boundaries. He introduces the concept of a primordial wisdom, a set of spiritual truths that may have originated in a lost or forgotten civilization, only to be passed down through oral traditions, sacred texts, and myths. This ancient wisdom, as the author suggests, served as the foundation for many of humanity's great spiritual systems, from the mystical schools of Egypt and Greece to the esoteric teachings of the East. Ashe doesn't claim definitive proof of this shared wisdom, but instead invites readers to sort of consider the possibility of an interconnected spiritual heritage. By tracing recurring themes such as sacred numbers, celestial patterns, and myths of creation, he pieces together a vision of human spirituality rooted in a common ancient source. In the book itself, Ancient Wisdom, Ashe dedicates considerable attention to the symbolic significance of numbers, with a particular focus on the number 7. If you read it, you will definitely notice that. He does go into 3 and 4 and etc., but the focus is definitely on 7, and this starts with Helena Blavatsky, which I'll get a bit into or mention a bit more just now. But throughout history, the number 7 has been imbued with mystical meaning, appearing repeatedly in myths, religious traditions, and cosmic systems across cultures. Ashe explores how the number 7 is often associated with completeness, divinity, and cosmic order, from the 7 days of creation in Judeo-Christian texts to the 7 heavens of Islamic tradition, the 7 chakras in Hinduism, and even the 7 stars of the Great Bear constellation, which is quite a large focus on his study. Ashe highlights its pervasive presence in spiritual thought. There is an interesting passage in regards to the shamanic connection, one that I have not come across previously and not even considered, and that is relation to shamanism originally being purely a feminine practice. I bring this up here because he's led to mention this whilst he is discussing the connection of the bear in various cultures. So in the passage itself, he says, one reason for thinking so is that whereas there are many local terms for a male shaman, there is only one term for a female shaman. The Altaians, Mongols, Buryat, Yakut, and other tribes call a woman shaman a utagan, with variants such as udagan, ubakan, uchigan. For a man shaman, they all have different words. Shamanism, it appears, was formerly a women's cult, which was united when the people themselves were. It only passed into male hands and required a new word for its male practitioners after the tribes were separated and drifted out of touch with each other. Furthermore, the old word for a woman shaman awakens echoes. It is like etugan, etugen, a Mongol name for the earth goddess. The Siberian earth goddess, in her turn, has affinities with the bear constellations. In one Tatar dialect, Utigan, the word for a woman shaman, also means bear. So he also delves into how the number 7 features prominently in sacred architecture and rituals. For example, the 7 steps of enlightenment in Buddhist teachings, or the 7 tiers of ancient ziggurats. Ashe suggests that this recurring pattern hints at a shared understanding of cosmic principles, possibly rooted in a universal source of ancient wisdom. Through these examples, Ashe invites readers to ponder the deeper significance of numerical patterns in shaping human spirituality. Is the prominence of the number 7 a mere coincidence, or does it reflect an intrinsic truth about the universe and our connection to it? This section is one of the book's highlights, showcasing Ashe's ability to weave together mythology, symbolism, and speculation into a thought-provoking narrative. One thing Ashe doesn't shy away from is venturing into bold and speculative territory. While much of the book focuses on historical and mythological analysis, Ashe also explores more controversial theories that push the boundaries of traditional scholarship. One of the most captivating aspects of the book is Ashe's exploration of Shambhala and other mystical realms as symbols of humanity's spiritual aspirations. Shambhala, a legendary kingdom rooted in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, is often described as a hidden paradise, a center of enlightenment and wisdom beyond the reach of ordinary mortals. And I will mention now, right now, at this point, that if you do read the book and you're interested in these mythical lands and places where the masters may have existed, specifically Avalon, and this is coming back to Ashe's other books regarding Avalon and the mysteries of the Graal and King Arthur, etc., etc. In the right at the end of the book, he actually equates or a possibility, or brings up a possibility that the Shambhala is actually possibly Avalon. But I'm not going to tell you about that in too much detail. If you want to find out for yourself, definitely get the book because, as I said, it's worth a read. But Ashe delves into the mythological and symbolic significance of Shambhala, framing it as more than just a mythical location. He suggests it represents an archetype, a collective vision of an ultimate source of spiritual knowledge that has inspired seekers across cultures and eras. This archetype, Ashe argues, is echoed in other traditions such as the Garden of Eden, the Greek Elysium, or the Celtic Otherworld, and Avalon and Anun. But through Shambhala and similar myths, Ashe draws connection between humanity's longing for transcendence and the idea of a universal wisdom that remains hidden, waiting to be rediscovered. He posits that such myths may reflect an actual lost center of learning or a spiritual ideal that continues to guide human evolution. This section of the book stands out for its evocative portrayal of Shambhala as both a literal and symbolic place. For readers fascinated by mystical geography and the enduring power of myths, Ashe's analysis offers a compelling lens through which to view humanity's search for the divine. This particular exploration of Shambhala ties in with the various ascended masters that have been mentioned through various traditions, including the Golden Dawn, who spoke of the secret chiefs. And Ashe suggests that this started with, or at least was brought into the public eye of the Westerner by Helena Blavatsky and her mention of the Mahatmas, a group of mystical masters. But apart from that speculative connection, he also makes mention of the ancient alien connection. However, this is something he doesn't feel should be a focus of the study. It is mentioned for reference to Shambhala and specifically that of the Tibetan lamas in connection with Shambhala. Just as a quick mention, what I found interesting in regards to his treatment of Blavatsky, seeing that so many people tend to elevate her, is his remarks concerning her toward the end of the book. I just want to actually read that passage for you. Madame Blavatsky weakened her own position by claiming that through her privileged contact with the masters, she herself possessed supernormal powers. Her feats were petty and semi-comic, like allegedly restoring a broken cup at a picnic. Worse, several of them were exposed as clumsy conjuring tricks, yet behind her posturing and faking there was, as usual, a serious idea. She insisted that those who came nearest to being public inheritors of ancient wisdom, lamas of course, and even the despised shamans in some degree, had the abilities which she claimed herself, and often much greater ones. Material, wonder-working, astral flight, telepathy, and many other things beyond the scope of everyday mortals were part of the wisdom. So I kind of like that treatment of Blavatsky, actually. All right, so The book, The Ancient Wisdom, offers several notable strengths that make it a compelling read for those interested in mythology, spirituality, and the mysteries of ancient knowledge. One of the book's key strengths is Geoffrey Ashe's ability to weave together diverse cultural traditions and myths into a cohesive narrative. His wide-ranging research draws from multiple sources spanning across Egypt, Greece, India, and beyond, making the book an engaging exploration of universal themes found in spiritual systems around the world. Ashe's deep understanding of mythology allows him to uncover hidden connections between these traditions, offering readers a fresh perspective on the shared roots of human wisdom. Another strength lies in Ashe's balanced approach to the subject matter. While he does explore speculative theories such as lost civilizations, he does so with a sense of intellectual humility. He presents these ideas as possibilities, inviting readers to think critically about the mysteries of the past rather than asserting them as fact. This open-mindedness fosters an engaging reading experience that encourages curiosity and thoughtfulness. The book's exploration of symbols, numbers, and archetypes also stands out as a key strength. Ashe's analysis of number seven and its recurring presence in spiritual traditions is particularly insightful, as it demonstrates how patterns and symbols transcend individual cultures and suggest a deeper shared wisdom. Overall, the ancient wisdom excels in offering a rich, thought provoking examination of the spiritual connections that bind humanity's distant past to its present. Um, Now, while the ancient wisdom presents a fascinating and thought provoking exploration of spiritual traditions and ancient knowledge, it is not without its weaknesses. One of the primary criticisms of the book is its speculative nature, particularly in sections where Geoffrey Ashe explores ideas such as extraterrestrial influences on human civilization. While these theories add intrigue, they may feel unfounded to readers seeking a more grounded, evidence based approach to history. The lack of concrete proof for these speculative theories could make some readers feel that these sections detract from the otherwise solid historical and mythological analysis. It's important to keep in mind that Ashe is exploring the possibilities from all various angles, even the mystical, which may not be provable. Additionally, the book's broad scope, while ambitious, can sometimes lead to a lack of depth in certain areas. Ashe covers a wide range of cultures, myths, and symbols, which may feel overwhelming to readers who are unfamiliar with the subject matter. Some may feel that the connections he draws between these traditions are sometimes speculative, and more detailed examples or case studies could have strengthened his arguments. Another potential weakness is that the book occasionally assumes a level of prior knowledge from the reader. While Ashe does his best to explain complex ideas, some sections may be difficult to fully grasp without a background in mythology or spiritual studies. This could make the book less accessible to casual readers who are new to the subject. However, I found this myself in certain areas, but I personally feel that this will just lead you down various rabbit holes to learn more and more, and what witch doesn't like to learn. But overall, while the ancient wisdom offers a wealth of insights and engaging theories, its speculative elements and occasional lack of depth in certain areas may limit its appeal for readers seeking that more straightforward or thoroughly evidence based exploration of ancient spiritual traditions. Before I conclude, there were some aspects within the book that I just wanted to actually read. If you are, and I know a lot of people here are interested in the idea of the tulpa, then there's some very interesting information regarding the tulpa in here, and I just want to read those particular sections that I pulled out. Let me just find those correct ones. So it does go into the various aspects. It speaks very or a lot about this Madame David Neal. If you haven't read about her, she did an experiment. She kind of explored Tibetan Lamaism and was with the monks for quite a while and actually created a tulpa herself. But I just want to read this passage down here. I can't remember where I started. It must have been here. Sometimes when a master is training a novice, oh, sorry, I just found this very interesting, the actual approach to the whole thing. Sometimes when a master is training a novice, or was before communism, he tells the disciple to shut himself away in a hermitage and meditate till his yidam, or tutelary god, appears. After a long time, if the course is successful, the yidam does appear and slowly takes on the same quasi-reality as the phantom monk. A disciple who has got so far may now simply go off in triumph with his master's congratulations and the Yidam in attendance as his guardian angel. This, however, is not the end which the master hopes for. Sometimes the disciple goes further into a sort of dark night of the soul and confesses with anguish that although the Yidam is present, he no longer believes in it as an independent being. It is his own creation. That is exactly what it is necessary for. Sorry, that is exactly what it is necessary for you to realize, the master tells him. Gods, demons, and whole universe are but a mirage which exists in the mind, springs from it, and sinks into it. In Evans Wentz's words, matter is a development of thought, crystallized mental energy. The world of normal experience is, in fact, a colossal thought form sustained by the one mind. God's demons and other unseen beings exist, but even they are not truly outside yourself because ultimately you are the one mind. Yeah, I just enjoyed that passage. But to get back to the tulpa, there was this passage I wanted to read, which I thought was quite interesting in regards to that particular topic. The thought form idea not only reflects philosophic doctrine, it has a bearing on Lamaistic theories and of reincarnation. Here too, Gesar is involved. If the concentration of thought and a will is powerful enough, perhaps a joint effort by many people, a human tulpa, can be more than a phantasm. It can come into being by normal birth as a stable physical form with a personality. It is then called a tulka or phantom body. A tulka child is not or need not be distinguishable from others by inspection alone, but he embodies a god or a demon or another person deceased, or an intention or hope, whatever it was that inspired the thoughts which formed him. Repetition of the process through a series of lives produces a chain of tulka, persons who are fundamentally the same, though they may develop quite differently. This accounts for the mystic succession of Dalai Lamas. One of Madame David Neal's informants told her that the Mongols would construct the returning messianic Gesar by their own thoughts, their own yearning for him. He would be reborn as the Tulka of all of us, whom the foreigners wish to make their slaves. So, going above and beyond the actual concept of the Tulpa, is the Tulka, which I don't think anybody, or most people, I haven't at least actually explored that concept at all. But very different to the idea of just a straightforward, simple servitor or thought form. So, in conclusion, the Ancient Wisdom by Geoffrey Ashe is a compelling and thought-provoking exploration of humanity's spiritual heritage. Through its examination of myths, symbols, and cultural parallels, Ashe invites readers to consider the possibility of a shared ancient source of wisdom that transcends time and geography. His approach is both broad and deep, weaving together diverse traditions and speculative theories, while also offering insightful commentary on the universal themes that bind humanity's spiritual past. However, its speculative elements, such as the exploration of Shambhala, may not resonate with all readers, and some may find certain sections lacking in depth. Despite these shortcomings, Ashe's writing remains engaging and accessible, offering various ideas for those interested in exploring the mysteries of ancient wisdom. For those with an interest in mythology, spirituality, and the possibility of a hidden shared knowledge across civilizations, the Ancient Wisdom is a worthwhile read. While it may not provide definitive answers, it opens the door to intriguing questions and offers a fresh perspective on humanity's spiritual evolution. I would definitely recommend The Ancient Wisdom to readers who enjoy speculative history, mythology, and the search for deeper connections between cultures, and also for those people who like to raise more questions than they have answers to. Those looking for a more evidence-based or traditional historical account may find the book's speculative nature less appealing, but for those open to exploring the unknown, it provides a fascinating journey into the ancient mind. So that is The Ancient Wisdom by Geoffrey Ashe, just that one there. And I am going to, obviously, as I always do, link to this in the little eye icon. I think I'll forget which side it is. I think it's this side over here. If you just click on the eye icon, you'll find the link in there, and you'll also find it in the description. So you will find it somewhere. Right. I hope you enjoyed that book review. Great book. I really did enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Cheers for now. Bye bye.